All right, guys, good evening. Hey, you see all of these lovely faces here on the team call tonight. We are doing something a little bit different. We just came back from the 2016 leadership retreat out there in Coronado, California, which this is the second year in a row they've hosted it out there. It's a really beautiful resort. The leadership retreat is something that you qualify for, which means that any coach in Team Beachbody can qualify and go to the leadership retreat, right? So in order to go, you have to be a 5-star diamond. And they'll actually start rolling out the requirements for it for next year. But I'll just kind of say, like, I'm pretty sure it's like 5-star diamond. And this year you had to have 35 elite points to go. Am I right on that? And you had to have 60 to have your room paid for. Is that correct? You guys don't remember? 25. Okay, thanks, Kaylee. So it's 25 elite points, and the deadline was like July-ish for that. It was like end of July, I want to say, was the qualifications. Now, leadership will actually be later next year. It'll be in November. I think it's like November 2nd through the 5th, around that time frame. So it's actually a little later next year. So it's a really good goal for you to shoot for if you are building your business, because it is the place. It's small. So there was like 300-400 people at this event. And they really take it and they provide you with leadership training. Anybody that is an elite coach got to go to sort of an elite sneak peek. The night that we came in, they came in early, they paid for our room, any of the elite coaches, and they had a little event and a dinner for us and sort of a kickoff. And then Thursday morning, we had our own private elite workout, and then with Joel and Jericho, and they did core to force with us. And then we went to they called it an elite preview, elite sneak peek. And basically we had Stephen Covey there. He presented to us on trust, and that was hands down one of my favorite speakers. I really loved everything he had to say. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit more about trust and building trust in your team and in your organization. This evening, I'll kind of go over that a little bit. But then everybody comes in on Thursday and you get to shop. They have a store, which we all got some pretty cool swag. I got this Core to Force shirt. I see Val has hers on. We actually got to buy Core to Force before its launch, so we all have the program. And I think almost all of us have probably started it today. So we kind of got that leg up to be able to do the program. And then they provide you with leadership training. So workouts and training and just social events and team building. I don't know if you follow any of these wonderful ladies on social media, but they got rocked at the team building event. It was hysterical. I watched all the pictures. So I didn't get to do it. I chose to opt out that afternoon because I needed to practice my presentation for Saturday. So anyways, it was a really, really awesome event. And I can say hands down, this time of year is when we need it. It's when we need it the most. You know, as a leader, there's a lot of give, there's a lot of growth, there's a lot of seasons, and it's just a great event. It's totally unlike Summit. So for you guys that are listening tonight that are working on building a business, it's a great goal to set. It's something great for you to sit down and talk about with your sponsor as to whether or not that's something that you want to shoot for, if that is a short-term or long-term goal for yourself, right? Number 2, the short-term goal, there is the New Leader Conference that happens it'll be in February this year. And so it's anybody that advances you can be an Emerald coach right now, but you have to advance to a 2-star diamond by the end of the year. And you have to have so many elite points. I can look that up for you guys too. I want to say it's like 20 elite points for the year. I think I should know this stuff before I get on the call. I really need to check that out. But anyways, that also is another event, which is meant to be for coaches that haven't quite got to 5-star. They didn't qualify for the leadership conference, or they're newer and they just came in and they're just starting to build their business. But it's a really great middle ground where they set you up with, it's really small. It's even smaller, like 200 people, and they set you up with training that is going to sort of give you a game plan for getting to elite for next year, for building your business, for, you know, really just getting your mind wrapped around what it takes to be the business owner and really propelling yourself forward in the business side of things, all right? So that's another goal for you to set for yourself. But if you're listening to this and you're an Emerald coach, you know, we're gonna talk to you guys a lot about basics, a lot about mindset tonight. No matter where you are, tonight's call is going to apply to you, because a lot of what we talked about is making sure that you have that solid just layer and foundation of your business in order to build upon. And you can't skip over one of those levels. You can't skip over, you know, inviting. You can't skip over running successful challenge groups and just go straight to recruiting. You have to have all the pieces to go together. So we're going to talk a lot about that tonight. Real quick, Team Spirit, if you're not registered for, if your team, how many of you guys on here are hosting your own Team Spirit groups? You guys have Team Spirit. So Katie Ursa's team, Kaylee's team, they have Team Spirit teams. I know that the Dream Team has one also. So make sure that you guys get plugged in to that, because it will start on November 1st. So you need to get up as a part of a team. All of our, you know, November trainings, and I'm pretty sure that everybody else is sort of doing the same thing too, is going to just sort of have training that'll be relevant to Team Spirit. Also, Super Saturday is this weekend, so if you have never been to Super Saturday before, please find a location nearest you. And I said this on the last call, if you're hosting a Super Saturday, can you guys just post in the comments right now? Tell me where your Super Saturday is going to be at. Give me the link. Just post the link in the comment section, so that anybody that is looking for an event can go to an event. Also, if you guys can share your event link or where you're going in the Dream Team, in the Facebook page or in the Rising Stars or wherever you guys are at, because there are a lot of coaches that want to go to an event but are afraid because they don't know anybody. So if we can connect them to another coach in our organization, then everybody can go together, all right? So that's one thing I want you guys to do. All right, so make sure you share your links so we can get people connected. Super Saturday, live workout. Doesn't matter your rank. You can go as a guest. You can bring guests with you. The point is to get the information from leadership. There will be training there. Usually there is other additional training from guest speakers. There's, like I said, a live workout, but it's a good networking time. It's a good way for you to meet other people in your area, just to form relationships. Go and say, I'm gonna make some new friends today, and sit by somebody you don't know, drum up conversation, really make it a point to get out there and just network. It's a good way to just get yourself out from behind the computer screen and meet other people that are like you. All right. Okay. Last but not least, Success Club. I am not going to go through the Success Club slide, but we are down to the wire. We are 1 week away from Core to Force launch, which is going to be incredible. So every day this week, I am going to be sharing tips in the team page. And so about how to launch Core to Force. One thing is, Katie, would you share those slides, those images that you shared in the wall with the team? Would you share them?
Yeah, where am I sharing them?
You just put them in the large team page.
The Dream Team? Like the big one?
Yep. Yeah. And then we can just all pull them and share them with our smaller teams, because she had some really, really great visuals for launching, having a successful launch. So I know I shared today a little bit about how to use the Core to Force sneak peek. She has some great images, but all this week, you know, we are just going to keep giving you just tips and ideas for how to make that successful. And if you still are kind of clueless on Core to Force, go back and pull from the previous team calls we did on the launch. I have it saved in the files section of the team page. Cool? All right. I think that's all the announcements I wanted to go over. But guys, power hours every day this week. The one thing is really keep it laser focused on doing the vital behaviors, on doing the things that are going to not just fill your Beachbody business hours with just time, like, you know, mindless stuff, but actually fill your Beachbody business hours with things that are going to move you forward. That is the key. All right. Okay. I know Alyssa's here. I can see her commenting, so let's get her promoted. First up, Kaylee, I'm going to have you start first, because you're going to talk about being a product of the product and what's in the box. And I want to just kind of kick things off with that. If you just want to introduce yourself and take it away.
Thanks. So my name's Kaylee Hennessy. I am one of Mel's coaches, and Carl this past weekend made a great analogy, and I know that if you guys were at the Pittsburgh event that he was at, probably even the Philadelphia event he was at, he did the same little analogy with the box. And I'm not going to go into the analogy, but basically the main purpose of this analogy was that we need to get back to the roots of having challengers and even coaches find value in what's in that box that comes shipped to us that says Beachbody Challenge, and to really get into the mind of having awesome challenge groups and making sure that our challengers and coaches are having amazing results so that the belief is there. Now, this is something that's somewhat new to me because I came into this for the business, so I have always had recruiting on my mind rather than focus on challenge groups, but it hit home with new things being presented and all of the new tools that we have now for challenge groups, like the Challenge Tracker app, and even just numerous things that you can do with Beachbody On Demand. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that's all I use for a workout now. And I find that, heck, that's all I use, but I realized I'm not even promoting that, So, it was just really getting back to the roots of making sure that everybody sees the value in what they just purchased, what just came shipped to them, what is sitting in their house, and hopefully they will actually open it. Because I know that was the main reason why coaching was invented. Why Beachbody put coaching into play was because they realized that people were purchasing programs from the infomercials, and they weren't opening them or completing them. So they decided to add the accountability factor of us coaches into the mix to help these people. And if we are not starting with that, we are not going to grow. We're building on unsturdy ground and something that will fall off. So that really hit home to me because we do have to, if you're not good at challenge groups, we need to figure out a way around it. And basically, I want to tell you guys what I have been doing for the past 2 months, just to get back to my roots in my own journey, because being product of the product is one of our vitals. Vitals means it's the most important thing to your business. It's what keeps you alive. So I have brought this down into my downline for them to do, which basically every Tuesday is a transformation Tuesday, but it's my own transformation, and it's my coach's own transformation. And it's something that has to do with, for me right now, I'm doing every Tuesday is before and that week of Max 30, because that's what I'm doing right now. And something about my story, just so that people can connect with me, but they're still seeing that here I am being proof that the product, is working. And then every Thursday is a Throwback Thursday, and it doesn't matter. Again, it's me, it's my coaches, it's strictly them, and whether it's their business or, a Throwback Thursday for, like I did one about when I paid off my debt to now, and, or another health transformation, it doesn't matter. And then every Sunday night is obviously a coaching opportunity post, because you will have past challengers who you have had a good connection with, see that post and want to join. So we're not saying you're not going to not recruit for coaching, but you have to have a system in place, and you have to have a belief system. So every single Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, that is what me and my downline who have adopted this way of working has put into place. And I find that as it continues, it's like that whole compound effect that we heard about all flipping weekend. I think that was like the running theme of this compound effect. And we have seen great result just from the amount of people, gone from likes to comments to messages just in, a short period of time. And just how I handle those, it started, yes, you're not going to get comments on it right away, just like anything else we post. So we go straight to just messaging the people who liked it. And I work straight from my like page. So these are people who may not have a relationship with me, but I will send them a message and create one from there. And then hopefully eventually down the road, there'll be somebody that I can invite. So that's kind of what I've been doing and my team has been doing to hopefully kick up the notch of, being proof that the product works and the importance of challenge groups.
Awesome. And guys, if you have things that like you want to add to that, feel free to like raise your hand and just jump in along the way too. So, but I agree. I really agree with the whole what's in the box, and Carl couldn't have said it more powerful, right? And it was just incredible that it is all about the transformation. And one thing, if you guys haven't had a transformation, like core to force, right? Like start on Monday. It's coming out. Just commit, do the 30 days of it and commit to that transformation. So thanks, Kaylee. All right, up next we've got Kim. So Kim Danger is going to talk to us a little bit, I think sort of just piggybacks right off of that with just selling and how it's a transference of feeling. So taking what she said and taking it one step further.
Right. And one thing that I wanted to add to what Kaylee said is you don't have to have a physical transformation. This is something that Danielle Natoni talked about when she spoke. She was kind of the closer in our, the last day that we attended. And I related to that because I came into the business not having done a program before. I was already kind of into fitness. I was already running. I was already kind of a gym rat. So I didn't have a physical transformation. That wasn't something that I could share with people. But for me, this was like a really unexpected benefit of coaching is the fact that we rely so much on personal development and that we stress that as part of one of the vital behaviors. My transformation hasn't been anything that you can actually see from the outside. And it is totally okay to talk about that on your Transformation Tuesday, because that is what I focus on, because I don't have a very obvious physical transformation. So just to piggyback on what Kaylee said, but I did want to talk about a quote that really, really resonated with me. And I wish I could remember who said it. I think it was Miguel Carrasco. If you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I just wrote down the quote. I didn't really take a whole lot of other notes. But I hope it was Miguel that said this. Otherwise, I'm crediting the wrong coach. But selling is a transference of feeling. And this was actually a quote from Zig Ziglar, who's, a big personal development guru from, way, way back. But this is so true, you guys. And for me, coming into the business, working with my cold market to begin with as a blogger and a social media, that's how I started. I did not start with my warm market. So I think that's why this really resonated with me. When I first started coaching, I was doing so much with the written word. I'm a writer. I don't know if you guys know this, but prior to Beachbody, I was an author. I made my money writing. So the reason why this resonated with me is it's impactful to think that only 7% of our communication is done through the written word. The rest is through it's nonverbal cues. It is by our tone. It's all by these things that we are usually super scared to go out and do, like do videos and make phone calls and things like that. Especially me as an introvert, I did not want to do that. That's why I love just hiding behind my laptop and writing and doing my blogging thing. But I feel like that was kind of a turning point for me, because I know that if I really want to connect with my challengers and my coaches, I have to put myself out there and be vulnerable. And I need to call them. I need to do more voice messaging. I need to do more videos, because that's where people actually feel your energy. They feel your excitement about the product. And if you're not excited about the product, how can you expect them to be? And I feel like one of the downsides, and I don't even want to share my scripts when I have my downline asking me well, how do you approach this? What do you say? And I'm like, I don't want to tell you what I say, because that's what I say. I want it to come from you. And I want you to come up with your own ways of expressing yourself, because your challengers and your coaches, they want you. They don't want me. So I guess that's what I really got out of that one little quote. It was such an impactful thing for me. It's all about feeling, you guys. And however you can best communicate that, whether it's through video or phone calls or in person, but please don't sit behind your laptop or your phone and copy and paste, because that will not get your point across. And people want you. If they get to know you, if you allow yourself to be vulnerable in that way, they will trust you so much more. You will get in touch with their own needs. They will get a feel for your passion behind the product. So I guess that's what I wanted to say tonight.
And I'm going to jump in. I wanted to piggyback kind of what on Kim said and Kaylee, because I'm Megan Blinka. Sorry, I didn't introduce myself. This was my first leadership. So when I first signed up to coach, I remember thinking I could make it and qualify for leadership, and I didn't get there. And then the next year came along, and I thought for sure I was going to qualify for leadership last year, and I didn't make it. But this year I did, and I can tell you, I had several other coaches who are kind of like where I was earlier say, is it worth it? Like, was it worth your blood, sweat, and tears to work to get to leadership? Because it was a small group. It's probably the smallest event that they hold. And I can tell you that it absolutely is. It was life-changing to be with these girls for the week, to have my husband there, to see all the people who you see through social media in person, sharing their tips and just networking. It was an amazing experience. So if you're sitting there thinking like maybe you wanted to be there this year and you weren't, and you've already crossed it off, or you're not sure if you can do it, just keep pushing for it, because it's worth it. I absolutely promise you that. But what I wanted to talk about was about credibility, because like Kaylee talked about, and Kim, with your transformations, you've got to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that is how people are going to relate to you. I can tell you from the day I started, I shared my journey, every piece of it. When I started around when PIO was released, I wasn't as open with 21 Day Fix because I wasn't a coach yet when I did that. But when I did when I did PIO, I blogged about it. I shared my meal plans. My meal plans on Facebook that got 0 likes, I shared them constantly. I shared my transformation. I lost 0 pounds through doing PIO. There was no physical transformation. I could lift my leg a little bit higher. I could do the PIO flip a little bit better. But there wasn't anything else. But I still shared it because for 8 weeks I did PIO and I talked about it, and I felt obligated to wrap that up with my final, here's my 8-week transformation. So as we're coming up on quarter fours, I feel like, size wasn't really my thing. There wasn't much of a transformation. Country heat, like I've done all the programs, but never like I did PIO. Never as consistently as I was with that very first program where I talked about it every single week, hands down. There wasn't a Sunday that went by that didn't recap the week before and meal plan the week ahead. And while I've continued to do that throughout the last 2.5 years, I was never consistent. But I know that when I get into that groove and I start sharing it, it builds my credibility. People see what I'm doing. They watch me do it, and then they want to do it too. But I feel like that was one thing that, as they shared, pouring your heart into your challengers need to know that you're right there with them. So about 2-3 weeks ago was when I started my September challenge group. I started checking in again. And I don't mean like checking in with my challengers. I was the challenger. I posted my ratings, and some of you may still do that every day, but I got away from it. When I was a challenger in the challenge group, I checked in every single day. I was so loyal about it. But when I became a coach, I stopped that. I didn't check in with my food rating and my water rating. And, if I had something like really significant to share, I would share it, but I wasn't consistent. And I can tell you, the more I share those struggles, the more my coaches are like, thank you. And I did it before, but like, I'm far from perfect. And I think these people look at me like, oh, you just do your workout every day and you never miss this. And, they relate so much more to you. And it just continues to build your credibility in the business. And through, with quarter fours coming up, I'm going back to my PIO basics. I'm going back in as soon as I get my computer, because I'm struggling without a computer right now. But when I get my computer back, I'm going to have that meal plan up and my blog post done for my first week of quarter fours. And I've followed those same consistent patterns. I have my before pictures taken. They're not pretty. I hate them. I'm unhappy, and I know how to change them. I'm going to commit to the program. I'm going to blog about it every week. I posted them in my challenge group so they know I took those pictures too. And I think it just comes down to being the challenger. Throughout the entire 4 days of that training, we heard the same thing over and over again. And I know throughout the 9 of us talking tonight, you're going to hear similar things like throughout all of our talks. It's because the challenge groups matter. If I can get anything else apart, just don't stop being a challenger, because the more you can relate to the people who you're bringing in here, the more they're going to relate to you, and it's going to trickle into your coaching business as well. That's all I got.
Hey, Mel. Y'all hear me? All right. Hey, guys. How are you? So I'm here. That's a good thing, right? I made it. Just honestly give myself some props for that tonight after the traveling. But okay, so you guys all the other girls just said, you guys are gonna hear nothing but challenge groups. But tonight, what I really want to share with you guys is a little statistics, and I'm not a numbers person, but first, kind of let me share all of my fails with you guys, okay? Now, learn from my mistakes, okay? I started, as you guys know, I started as a coach. In case you don't know, you guys are going to hear my story now. I started as a coach because of the challenge groups, right? And I remember having this conversation with Mal like a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, all right, Mal, like, I think I know, like, where I went wrong. Like, I think I know because I lost, like, my love and my passion for my challenge groups. And she's like, Alyssa, like, do you remember when you started? Like, you were checking in those challenge groups like 3 times a day. You were making meal plans. You were taking pictures of your snacks. Like, your challenge groups were awesome. Your challengers were getting like such good transformations. And I'm like, I know. That's where I went wrong. And let me say this, is that I started to chase the carrot in my business, and I lost focus of what it is that I do and what the heart and the mission and the soul of what we do as coaches. And that is run challenge groups, you guys. That is what we do. But let me say that it started with me because I lost my own health and fitness. Okay, I was screwing around doing all different programs. It was over all the summer. I was eating clean, but snacks here and there, having drinks on the weekends. I kind of let my own self go. And like, I lost my passion for fitness. Like, I will be completely honest. I didn't want to work out. I mean, I almost got those feelings of like most people do. Like, I could just sit on the couch and I'd be fine and I don't have to get my workout in. And I had to have like a good gut check with myself and say, like, okay, my challenge groups suck. And I will say they sucked. Here's what I did wrong. I started scheduling all of my posts. Now, you guys might schedule your posts because maybe it's great for your time. Maybe it's a time management tip that you guys learned. But if you are like me and you are a high energy person and I've got some bot posting into my challenge groups every morning, and then I come in the evening, like, my energy's not there, guys. And I got stuff falling on my head. Okay, so my energy's not there. Like, my energy is not the one in the group going, come on, guys, like, we can do this. Like, here I am, like, I'm doing this too. And so once I realized, like, where my aha went wrong, I was like, man, that's an easy course correction. I just got to go back to what I started with, and that was my challenge groups, right? So this past month, we did something a little bit different in our challenge groups. I'm running them with some of my challengers, and I want to tell you guys that this is easy. So for all of you guys that are like, oh, I need to schedule my post time, blah, 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 you know what? You do not need to schedule your posts. You can schedule some, but I really want you to go live in your groups. So what I did, and I'm sure you guys don't run your groups together or by yourselves. So I have a group of coaches that we're running with together, and I just have an October calendar, and we assigned it. So every day, one of the coaches is going live in the group in the morning. And I kind of gave them a little guideline. So as you guys know, like, the first week we do our goals and our whys, right? And our second week is a little more nutrition focused. But I have them going live every morning in there, and then in the evening doing some kind of post that matches whatever their post was in the morning. You know what's so awesome about this is that, first of all, my new coaches, guys, they're going live. It gives them a responsibility, and it's causing them to step up as leaders. One thing that I learned from this weekend, kind of my late night chats, is that to raise a team, to lift up leadership, you need to help people and kind of push them outside of their comfort zone, but in a good way, right? Sometimes that's going to really elevate people's leaderships. And one easy way to do that is to just help your new coaches go live, right? It gives them responsibility. It makes them so proud. They're the leader. They're the ones running the group. But why this works so well is because nobody knows whatever anybody's going to say. Every day when I check in there, like, I get to see my girls. I don't know what they're going to say. It keeps it really exciting. They fling new things, and then we're all posting our workouts, and we're doing live workouts, and there's just so much energy in this group, and it doesn't take that much more time from us, And so if you guys aren't doing that already, if you're not going live in your groups, if you need to spice things up, it's so easy to be able to do that, to really create that community feeling. If you have a local team, you know, getting together with them and doing live workouts together is another thing that I really recommend for you guys as well. But what I want to share with you guys before I go is just let me pull this up here on my phone, because I sent it to my computer to do a slide for you guys, but I saw that nobody was going to do slides, so I won't do the slide. Let me just pull this up on here. But the main focus was how do you help people get successful, okay? And if you're somebody like me, to that like challenger to coach conversion, if you're somebody like me and you're like, well, my whole team all came in for the coaching opportunity, I want to tell you, you know what, guys? Me too. It's my story. I came in for the coaching opportunity. I did not come in from the challenge groups. But one thing that I am doing now is every single one of my coaches, I don't care if you are Miss, you know, WFBAF 9, 10, whatever those corporations are called, the MPC bikini competitors, you're the top fitness pro in the nation. Like, you are going to come into the business and you are going to commit to a program and you are going to be in my challenge group, and that is your focus. That is what I need you to do. Your first 21-day assignment or 30-day assignment as a new coach is not learning all about coaching. It's for you to get a transformation, for you to build belief within the products, and for you to be able to have your story. Because without that, you guys, we're basically teaching people to promote something that they don't really believe in, right? And think about that. When I commit to something and I'm getting results, you better believe I'm going to be telling all my sisters about how incredible these programs are, because I believe it and I have the confidence within myself. So that is just something I really wanted to share. And here's why, so I can pull this up for you. So just wait 1 second for me while I get this for you guys. And then I promise I'll stop talking. But there's really great statistics that I just want to share with you guys. And this is a big deal for me, guys, because you guys know, like, I'm not a statistics person. So the fact that I'm sharing numbers with you guys, I think that this was just really great insight, okay? Okay, so first of all, number one, let me tell you guys something. There are fewer productive coaches in the network, okay? So for all of you guys that are like, why is my volume going down? Why are all these things? Number one, there's fewer productive coaches in the network. So out of 252,000 coaches in 2016, 23% of coaches are predominantly inactive, compared to 18% last year. Discount coaches, 46% compared to 48% last year. Retail coaches, 13% compared to 16% last year. And actually business building coaches is 18% between 21%. So one thing, hallelujah for all of you guys that are out there working your business, because you guys all make up this 18%. Haha. So like all of the 145 of you guys on the call right now, thank you for being in the 18%. That is absolutely incredible. And the other thing that I want to share, and of course, on my stupid phone went dead. Mel, telling you what, girl. She finally gave me this great charger, and I can't even get that thing to work. Okay, so the other thing that I just want to say is that new coaches who join the business, 26% of coaches who join the business and cancel in the same year came right in as coaches. Okay, 17% were customer converted coaches, of coaches that quit. So when we're bringing in customers or bringing in coaches, they've never been in a challenge group before, they've never had a customer experience first, and then became challengers. 26% of those are canceling versus 17% that come in from a challenge group. Next statistic I want to share is that 14% customer converted coaches earn 14% more for their first year in the business. Now, how can you combat that if you're somebody like me that primarily brings in just coaches, okay? Because of that's who's coming to me. And what I'm saying for mine, and this is where that comes in, is that I need to create that belief, and I need to make sure that the challenge group is what we are focused on and not give them more assignments. I believe that I will be able to help my ranks and help my numbers up within my coaches to be able to create more income if I start there first. Okay, time's up. And I love y'all.
You rock.
Hey guys, it's Val Bazo over here, and I'm excited to give my takeaways too, and I'm actually going to start by piggybacking off of what Alyssa was talking about with the discount coaches. You just said everything that I was going to say, so that's good. We're on the same page. But really mine is quality enrollments over the quantity or non-quality enrollments. And I know that Kirsten's going to be talking more about the challenger and the challenge group aspects after I'm done, but I'm going to go with the coaching thing because so much that I see so often, and I've been a coach for 3.5 years. This was my third leadership event in California, but I see coaches signing people, challengers, up as discount coaches right off the bat. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. However, what I am saying is that we need to treat those people that you're signing up as discount coaches right off the bat. They are your customers. They are not coming in for the business. So much I see a disconnect in there, oh, well, my coach is canceling after 3 weeks. My coach is going inactive. No, did that person get results? Are you treating them as a challenger and putting them in your challenge group? Or are you doing that turn and burn where it's okay, cool, I'm pushing for a rank, I'm pushing for this. They're just a new coach in my downline. You really have to take the time to get to know the person and understand that, just like Alyssa pointed out, and just pretty much all of us are just trying to help you understand, is that everyone, no matter if they are coming into this business as a coach, as a customer, as a working coach, no matter what, they all start as challengers first. And I had to give myself a huge gut check on this weekend too. This was a full circle moment because, I'll call myself out. And I know that sometimes there are times that you sign some people up and you kind of throw it against the wall to see who sticks. And you start to make excuses. Well, so-and-so's not doing something, or they're not working on my team. No, you guys, we are the leaders and we are the ones who set the pace. We have to always be leading by example, and it's not their fault. It's us who have to give us this check and say, okay, are we making sure that they are getting the results so that they bleed Beachbody blue? Their roots have to go deep and the roots have to go wide. And man alive, when Carl said at the end of Saturday's session, do you bleed Beachbody blue? I was like, I do. I can 100% say that I do. But I can also 100% say that I am not instilling enough belief in every single person who walks into my organization as a customer, in a free group, as a coach. I have to treat everyone 100% equal to get them their own personal results. And no, not just with one round of the 21-day fix, not just with a 30-day challenge group. This has to go on because that's what's happening. They are quitting. They need to have this place to belong. And, not placing blame on anyone, not saying that you guys are doing this, but I am saying that this was my takeaway because I had to make sure that I am spending the time in the right places and that my energy is producing the results and really caring about my challengers because they deserve my time. So, maybe some advice is my challenges to you. Set the number of people that you truly know that you can help each month. I took this away from Allie Upham, and she was like, you know what? She said, I have never signed up, gotten more than 20 Success Club points in 1 month, even in a launch. And this coach has been in the business, I want to say 8 years. And she said, because for me, I stick to my core value as a coach, knowing that I personally can't help more than 10 people a month to get the results that they need and that they deserve. And I'm not going to let them down off of the promise that I made them. And I was like, wow. Sometimes you just hear it in different perspectives. So, set your number and make that be your number. You guys, don't be just saying, oh my gosh, I have to get to Success Club 5. Oh my gosh, I have to get to Success Club 5. Start to realize that those Success Club numbers, those are people. So set your people numbers that you are going to pour your heart and soul in to help transform their life. That to me is a quality enrollment, as we say, versus just the quantity of the burn and turn. Because we want people to believe in us. We want them to believe in the company. They need to know that we are valued because you want to know, I'm finding out, I'm going over my time, I'm sorry, but something that I'm coming up on so much is people who have been left out in the dust. Oh, my coach quit. Oh, my coach signed me up and I never heard from them again. Oh, she said that she promised me that she was going to do this and she never put me into a challenge group. Number one, they've lost belief in our company because they think that we're all like that. And number two, anyone who's quitting or letting their challengers down, shame on you, because this is a promise that you've made. So of course I'm going to adopt them. And of course I'm going to say, yes, of course I'm going to help you get the results. Okay, so pour your heart and soul into this, you guys, because this matters. We matter. And wait, hold up. What is it? We're stronger every day and everyone matters. It is on my little boards that I got, my yearbooks that we got, and it matters. We all matter. So, boom, done. Thanks for the time of letting me speak.
Hey, what's up? So I am not here to motivate. I am just here to give some information that I learned, and it is about going digital, which is super important because it's one of those things that we're kind of scared to embrace, but I actually believe it's going to be what takes our network to the next level. So if you're one of those coaches right now who is feeling the volume hit, I am going to tell you that this is not going to be something that skyrockets right away. This is going to be a slow and steady intentional climb, and they know what they are doing. We do not. I'm going to repeat. They know what they're doing. And I is sitting in the crowd going, I don't know what they're saying, but I know they're really smart and I know that they know what they're doing. The guy from Hulu who created that is now in our company. So you got to trust him, right? He knows what he's doing. I don't, but I'm going to trust him. So here's the deal. Carl's on stage, right? And he's talking about how when the company was, really launching the network, and they were still selling VHS. And everybody else had gone to DVD, and nobody could figure out why Beachbody was still selling VHS. And they came to find out that the reason is because people were taking their TVs that had a VHS, throwing them in their workout rooms, and still using the VHS. So what he said was, we have no intention of stopping DVD sales. That is not what the company is doing. They aren't going to just stop and halt and say everybody has to stream, but they are watching trends, and they are aware that there is a great area for improvement, for growth with the digital world. And if we don't embrace it, we are basically shooting ourselves in the foot. So we're going to be smart about this for a couple minutes. I'm going to walk you through some of the images that they showed us. And these are just my pictures. This is nothing fancy, but I want to give you a feel so you know. So I don't know why they use the word penetration, and they said this on stage too, because I can't actually say it without giggling, so I'm not going to. But there is a decline in the way people are using DVDs. And there is an increase in using the internet, as well as that need for them to address that. There is a digital platform. There's competition that is on a digital platform, and they are ready to play the game. So they are going to make sure that they are providing on that platform, which is awesome. And here's a couple of things that they're doing. So you know how we talk about forming a customer? How cool is this? You can actually send them, and I believe this is going to be mid-November that you can do this. You can actually send them a link for a new personalized program finder where you can say to somebody, hey, what's your goal? And you can walk through they can walk through the steps and actually talk about what their goals are, what level they are, what programs they are like, so that they can actually recommend in Beachbody On Demand what your customer should be doing. So it takes the guesswork out of that for you and gives it to them. It introduces them to a number of different workouts. And if you guys do not have Beachbody On Demand and have not taken time to scroll through everything that is available, friends, oh my goodness, what you get for the cost is insane, like mind-blowing to me. So this is going to be one thing that we're going to have the opportunity to send our customers, is this new personalized program finder, so that we can really help them get results by finding the program that fits them. Not because it's launching, not because it's one that we liked, but because it fits them. So I like that. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to show you is our new content. This is what they've put out The Fixate Cooking Show has had 100K plus views after it launched. The 3-week yoga retreat. Guys, you have people who don't love working out. You have people that, they're doing the reset. They have a program now specifically for them, and it's good. If you yourself haven't checked it out, go and check it out. And then what they decided to do, they just launched this. So if you go in, I think it's in there. It might not be because I didn't see it this morning. But in the Beachbody Yoga Studio, they pulled a bunch of yoga workouts from Beachbody, like various ones, and they put them into a studio, like into a catalog, an easy to follow catalog where you can actually go in and select that. So that is some new content. Some other new content we've got on November 1st, 2 new workouts. We're gonna rope and ride. We're gonna get Dirty Dozen too with Autumn. We're always getting dirty. Country Heat is gonna have 2 new ones. We're gonna ride a wild horse with that too. 21 Day Fix, there's gonna be 2 new workouts coming out. How cool is that? You're gonna have an opportunity to give your people something new. And on another note, I think we did Dirty Dozen at Leadership. Is that the one I can't walk with? Was that the workout? Because it was awful. Awful. And then Core to Force is going to have 2 workouts that are going to launch on December 1st, MMA Speed and Shred. All right, and I'm really pumped for this one because if you have not been working your tail out for customer leads, it is about to go down big time. So Apple is going to be partnering up with us. And if you don't get that, it's a very big deal. The fact that Apple, I'm going to say Apple, is recognizing a MLM company and is standing by them in terms of what we do, and it's about to get bigger. This is beyond big for branding. So if you ever question or somebody questions you as a coach or this company or integrity of any way, you basically say, we're branding with Apple, so there's that, and I think it's a big deal. So, I mean, are you selling mascara? How's that going? How about your leggings? What's going on with that? Not that I don't like their leggings. Their leggings are cute, but Spanx has cuter ones. So Apple branding opportunity. I'm going to tell you specifically what they're doing because this is big for your holiday. Everyone who is going to purchase this it's called a Wahoo, and basically what it is, it's coming out for Christmas. It's one of their products for Christmas. It's a heart rate monitor that you wear around you, and it pairs up with your Apple Watch, and it is actually going to give people a month trial of Beachbody On Demand. And guess where they go? They go to you. They're your customers. They become your leads. This is Apple. This is not like a little scale back of a magazine in that on the Sky Mall you read. This is freaking Apple. That's a big deal. This is better, if you ask me, this is better than a launch because they are handing people to us when we hit Success Club as an Emerald coach or above, okay? So I've seen it. They showed it to us, and you girls can like correct me if I'm wrong, but basically it's a one year membership. I totally thought it was 1 month. That's awesome. So you have the heart rate monitor, and it's launched through Apple. And get this, because they loved it so much, this is the packaging that it will come in. This is the packaging. This will be in Apple stores. This will be in Apple stores, and they will become your customers. And what's cooler is that Apple puts out their 10 holiday gift ideas. We're one of them. Unique, what do you got for us? LuLaRoe, what do you got for us? You got Apple? Don't think you have Apple. Don't think you have Apple. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. But that is really the only thing that I really wanted to touch base on, because I am telling you that if you are afraid that Beachbody On Demand is taking your customers, or you are afraid to go digital, you have got to put your big girl panties on or your big guy panties on, and you've got to man up, and you've got to get out there and say, I can stream stuff, like awesome stuff, really, really cheap. And it's about to go down. So now we get real with Beachbody On Demand because you have this amazing tool. And if you aren't taking advantage of it, well, Apple is. Apple is. That's all I got. I don't know who's up. That's all. I have no idea who's up. I'm sorry.
Marsha, you're gonna have to drop
Right?
that. Come on, it's Marsha. You gotta say that.
All right, good luck after that one, Marsha.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's legit. I mean, Marsha, is that not like,
Yeah.
oh.
It is freaking awesome.
Beachbody.
It is amazing. I was really excited when they talked about that too. All right, so I'm going to, a lot of the stuff that we're hearing tonight is all common theme stuff. I really, really, really loved how everybody who got up on stage last week really brought it back to the basics and talked about the challenge groups and, working on our own selves first. I think it was Kim Carver who talked about the vital process. And what that is number one, getting clients started right. And this hit home with me. Some of us are being really vulnerable, talking about, maybe where we've failed in our business. And for me personally, it was like aha moment. I remember when I first started as a coach, every single person that I brought on to my business, whether a customer or coach, I treated them with the same kind of on an equal playing field. I got on a weekly call with them every single week, or I did Zoom calls with my challengers. And somewhere along the way, as my business grew, that was one thing that I felt like I didn't have time for. And it was just like a slap in the face, like, gosh, that is the reason for my business. Like, why would I think that wasn't important? So I came back and I'm making time for my customers to get on weekly calls with them, even if it's a 10-minute check-in. Or now we have the technology with Facebook Messenger. I can leave a voice message, just checking in with people, letting them know that I care and that I'm thinking about them, and asking them what their focus is for the week, how they did last week. So that's one thing that I'm going to be doing. So that was vital process number one, and then just really focusing on helping them get results. Carl Deichler said, if they don't get results in the first 30 days, then have them send in a refund if they're not satisfied with their product. And for the CEO to say that, have them send back their box, as Kaylee was talking about. It's like, wow, like I need to work harder at helping them make sure that they get results. And then the third step to that process was transitioning to a coach. So once we help them get results, it's going to be more of a natural progression that they're going to want to coach and work the business. And I know Alyssa talked a lot about that, rather than signing people up right away as a coach, and Val did too. Walk them through the process, make sure they're a challenger first and they get the results before approaching them about the coaching opportunity. And then the final step in that, the vital process, is developing and mentoring coaches. And I just want you guys to know that, this is your business. The choices that you make are important to your business. And I believe it was Kim Carver again who talked about, we can be the training wheels, for you as a new coach, but you at some point are going to have to take off and keep pedaling that bike and figure things out on your own. I don't remember who was talking about scripts. Sometimes I think we try to do so much for our coaches because we love our coaches so much. We want to give them everything that they need to be able to succeed with this business. But it just made me like step back a little bit and ask myself, am I doing my team a disservice by giving them exact scripts to use and things that I do, when it would be better for you guys to figure out, your own wording and your own way of working your business, because we're all so different and we're all unique, and you guys have something special and something important to bring to your business on your own. And you just have to kind of, through personal development and trial and error, you're going to fail, and that's okay. But through that failure, you're going to come out stronger on the other side. So, I guess, everything's been said tonight. It's been an amazing call. So that's all I have to say, I guess.
Well, guys, you made me last, and now I don't have anything to talk about. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just going to piggyback a little bit off first of what Megan said, in that I missed leadership. This was like my 3 years in the trying to get there. And the first year I missed it by just a couple weeks. And the second year was the same thing. And this was the third year. And it was like really hard missing it. But just remember that every time you set a goal, it doesn't have to be the final end if you don't make it. It's just the goal date needs to change. And so I wrote down, or I took a picture of a quote that Carl put up there, and he said, and I'm going to get it wrong, so I'm going to look it up because I don't want to get it wrong. He said, okay, so this is really cool, and this wasn't on my notes, but wasn't said, so I'll say it. But so Carl has this special hallway that he walks into. Well, first of all, when he drives up to his parking spot, he has his goals. Instead of his name on his parking spot, he has his goals there. He has a number of certain things that he's focusing on, and those goals are right there in his face every day. And then when he walks into his office, he has his own little hallway that he goes down, and he writes quotes that he reads from his personal development. How cool that our CEO is doing everything that he's telling us to do, right? And this is what we do as coaches. Our CEO, it's starting at the top. He's drinking Shakeology, he's reading personal development, and he's working out. But he said, how did you succeed? And the answer was, I didn't quit. So it's just reiterating that failing forward. And something else that I wrote down, that Molly Fletcher, she was the keynote speaker. She's a sports agent, and she works with top sports players all over the world. And she has worked with them and is just trying to like figure out their behaviors and why they're so good. And she was asking the top golfers, like, how do you continue to do so well and these other people don't? And their response was always the same. And they say that they recover from adversity faster. And so I think that it's really important that you guys you're here, and congratulations for getting on this call. And we're all feeling the lull in the business a little bit, but we're not complaining about it. We're saying, why? How can we recover from this faster? So if you can take the things from this call and implement them into your business as quick as possible, you're going to start to see an upward climb. And, we're all hearing the common theme. So clearly you can see that this is happening across the board. I mean, Alyssa was speaking about how she was feeling about challenge groups. She took the words out of my mouth. I had the same questions written down. Like, do you feel like you're going through the motions? Are you drained from the challenge groups? Are you bored by them? I'm like, another challenge group. Well, you know what? That's what my challengers are feeling. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, why the heck won't anybody participate? I'm posting all the time. I'm participating. I'm doing my workouts, but why won't anybody participate? And so, because they feel that energy. So I'm just going to give like a couple different ideas that weren't said that I took notes on that were pretty cool. One of the things that rang, like multiple people said, was get on the phone. Get on the freaking phone. Like, we're all afraid of the phone. We've turned into texting. We don't even talk to our friends anymore because our kids are yelling in the background. Like, it is so nice to hear a voice, right? And I mean, it truly is. And I know for me, like, I'm afraid to get on the phone because I'm like, they don't want to talk to me. What if they're busy? What if their kids are screaming? What if, and like every time I get on the phone, I sell a challenge pack. I mean, I think my close rate is 95%. And you would think that like I would get on the phone all the time, but it still kind of makes me nervous because, it's like, oh, we hear that chat. We're going to hear that objection and we don't have time to react to it. But you know what, guys? I rarely get any objections because they can hear my voice and they can tell that I'm like so passionate about this. And if they do object to me, I'm like, okay. And I really don't feel like, as some people say, butthurt when they object me on the phone. I don't know why. I just really don't. I'm just like, okay, well, you hear my heart and I'm portraying that to you and I'm not trying to take advantage of you. And I think that sometimes we're afraid that people are thinking that we're trying to dupe them into something. And when I'm on the phone with them, I know from like the depths of my soul, because I bleed Beachbody Blue, that they're hearing that. And if they don't want it, I really truly know that it's not the right time for them. But don't stop there with the phone. So here's just some tips. Get on the phone, make that first connection, start talking to them about their goals. Then before they become a challenger, do a getting started right call with them before they get in the challenge group and just set the expectation. It doesn't have to be a long call. You can set up just a few questions. Just make sure that you're getting their goals, you're writing them down, you're keeping them somewhere because you need to remind them of their goals. And then on that call, make sure you say to them, do I have permission to hold you accountable to your goals? And this goes for your coaches too. So when you're up, there's my 5-minute timer. Let her go. I talk too much, so I had to set a timer. So the same thing with your coaches. Do I have permission to hold you to this? Again, so then that alleviates the pressure off of you when you have to have that real talk. And then in week 2, have some kind of system, like create a system for how you're going to follow up with your challengers and you're going to be accountable to them. Carl said a statistics. He said 78% of people that got a bi-weekly call that were in a health and fitness study achieved their results. 78% of those people, because they got a call every single other week. And then after the study was over, they continued on to continue towards their health and fitness goals because they already had quick wins and results in place because somebody kept them accountable. So somewhere along the lines, we have just thrown our people into, and this is me personally, and I've talked to other coaches and I know they're doing it too, because we're so focused on the next month's success points. We need more points. We need more points. We need to spend all of our time creating relationships, and we're not focusing, we're just throwing them into a challenge room and expecting them to look at the files and to do their workout and to read everything. And I know personally, like, that's me. Like, you give me something to do, I will do it. But other people aren't like that. They need to be accountable. We need to be accountable to our goals. So set some kind of system for voicemails and like talking to them, phone calls, voicemails every other week. And the other thing that Allie does, and she talked about this in her thing from Summit. So if you guys want to go back to get more tips on challenge groups, the presentation from Allie and Chelsea Pearson at Summit was amazing. But she contacts them every single time they don't post a day. So if she doesn't see them post that day, she sends them a message and says, "Hey, how you doing? I didn't see you post." She doesn't get an answer. She uses another form of communication. She sends them an email. "Hey, I didn't see you post." Third time, she sends a message and says, "Listen, I understand life happens. We all go through seasons. I want you to know my door is open. I love you. I'm here for you. And we will always be here for you. So here you go." And that's the same thing with your coaches. Like, it's okay if this isn't working for them right now, but leave the door open so that you can come back to them when there's a launch and say, "Hey, maybe this is the right time for you." Because it all just goes back to like making people feel like they belong, making people feel like they matter, especially in a turmoil world and a country that we live in right now with everything else that's going on. And this is the theme that you guys have heard across the board, is that just make it matter for people. Make sure that you're there for them and you're supporting them. And my last thing is to make a confidence box. This is another thing that Molly Fletcher said. Make that success club or that success wall of fame. Do something with those messages people send you. Have your coaches, something that I'm going to do is I'm going to have all my coaches send me all their transformation pictures, everyone in my downline. I want a transformation picture and how Beachbody changed their life. And I'm going to make a binder. Well, actually what I'd like to do is I'd like to like Mod Podge it to my wall in my gym and have it be my wall of fame. And then every single day, when I don't feel like inviting, when I'm afraid to hear a no, when adversity strikes, when things suck for a little bit, I'm going to look at that wall and say, you know what? Those lives are changed because I showed up. That's all.
That's awesome. That's the best idea ever. I love that. Yeah, you got the mic drop, Kirsten. You did it. So, well, it's 10 o'clock, guys, and I can say that every single coach that went to leadership took away more information than we know what to do with, right? And we're all sort of digesting it. But I will tell you that this is the bottom line, right? All of you are meant for success. All of you can have that. If you look at each one of these ladies in these squares, right? We all started with either a transformation. We all started with nothing. We all came in with that fire, that vision that I can do this. I can change somebody's life. I can build a business. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to get there. I will figure it out along the way. So what did we do? We committed. We committed to a program. What do you guys have to do? You have to commit. Start over, start fresh, start day one, track your progress, share it publicly, make it authentic and real so that you build trust with people on your social media. Number 2, run kick-ass challenge groups, guys. You know, start a challenge group, commit to it, go live in there. Be authentic, be real, you know, go in and lead by example, lead from the front. Help your customers get results. Yes, every month your goal is to hit Success Club. Yes, every month we want you to bring in 3 to 5 new people. But always remember that it is the people that you want to help turn your customers into believers, into advocates, into people that are either going to go out and tell other people or they're going to become coaches on your team. You want to be able to spread the word and you want to create a team of people that believe just like you. So help your customers get results. Lastly, create advocates and invite people to become coaches, right? Help them succeed. That was the 4 main points that we learned about at leadership, and that we wanted to share on with you guys too. And there's nothing that's rocket science. There's nothing that it hasn't already been said in some way, shape, or form. But I just think sometimes we have to hear it from a different way, a different angle. We have to remember, what we're so passionate about. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, what do I need to be doing, getting distracted by what everybody else is doing. Just keep your blinders on and focus on why you became a coach in the first place, right? Share from your heart, lead from the front, and you guys will do amazing. So anyways, ladies, do you have anything else to add to that before we close it out?
Hey, Mel, this was just maybe an idea that I don't know how we could do this, but maybe we could create some kind of challenge group document or something where everyone, because I feel like we've all kind of gotten bored with our stuff and people are all coming up with great ideas. If we could just put a bunch of stuff together, Alyssa said a couple things that she does and Kaylee said a couple things that she does. And I know Katie's been doing some new things with her challenge groups with incorporating a personal development book. Not just so much the script part of it, but just different. Sometimes I just get stuck. I don't know what to do. What's fun? What do people like?
Yeah.
If we could, I don't know how to do that.
That's a good idea. So this week I'm doing the core to force launch tips every single day. What if next week I'm trying to do a theme every single week? What if next week our theme is to have each person go live in the team page and we can all share just our tips of what we're doing, challenge group engagement tips. Do you want to do that? And then we can easily save that and it can be something we share, put it in a YouTube format and go. Do you want to do that? Okay, we can do that. That would be an awesome idea. I like that. Deal. Anything else? No? All right, guys. Well, have a really, really awesome week. And next Monday, we will not have a call because it will be Halloween and I will be trick-or-treating with my little minions. And we will be busy with the launch of Core to Force. So we will definitely catch back up the following week. So just wanted to give you guys that heads up too. So, all right. Have a wonderful week. Thanks, guys, for your time tonight. I will see you guys later. Bye, everybody.